And new tonight, caught on camera, a neighborhood nightmare in Huntington Beach where a woman is accused of attacking a man with her car.
The disabled man at the center of that fight says the video doesn't show what really happened, but it certainly is catching everyone's attention.
September 7th, 2014, Huntington Beach, California. It's an area record specialist Sarah Heidecker loves.
Huntington Beach is really nice. It's a nice beach town. It's pretty expensive.
Despite the hefty price tags, Sarah has found a friendly, affordable apartment not too far from the beach.
We all kind of got along together. Everyone would talk to each other when we ran into each other.
It's essential to have a good relationship with your neighbors. You tend to look out for one another.
Still, two of the people in the building have a reputation as being neighbors from hell.
My bedroom overlooked the driveway, and I would just hear screaming. Or something getting thrown, or just insanity. And I could hear it loudly over my TV.
The culprits, Bob Ayers and Laura Cox, seem to be fighting all the time.
They're definitely not a functional couple. I don't even know if they were like a couple anymore, but they were at one time. They just lived together.
Don't let anybody else well, hey. I'm sorry if you know what I did.
With that background and that baggage, that probably adds even more intensity to the situations.
Sarah finds the constant screaming so frustrating, she starts recording it.
I started taping these videos so that I could show my friends because they didn't believe me. They were like, no, you don't have crazy neighbors. Like, Huntington Beach is a nice area. What are you talking about? She would be out in her car. She's so frustrated about not being able to find something in her car that she starts kicking her car, leaves giant dents in it.
Essentially, she has no filter. She strikes out, she yells out, uses vulgar language.
It was disrupting for me.
So she is not properly managing her anger. And as a result, it's making living with her unbearable.
And on this Saturday morning, things take a dark turn.
I woke up kind of late, and I just heard the worst screaming I'd heard this entire time. And so I paused the TV, and I went over to my bedroom, and I looked out the window. I was recording it, because that was just kind of what I did at that point.
Calm down and relax.
We see a man on a motorized scooter parked behind some type of vehicle, and it appears to be blocking the vehicle's exit.
Calm down. Shut the motor off for a few. Get the out of my way!
And she was just screaming at him.
You move your scooter!
You could tell he didn't want her to go anywhere. Like, she wasn't in the condition to drive, which was insane because it was like 8 in the morning. It was pretty crazy. I don't know if something had happened before. She was fuming.
This is intense.
Get the out of my way!
But neither Bob or his scooter are budging.
It's clear that he positioned his scooter directly behind her to keep her from leaving. He puts himself at risk so that she doesn't pose a danger to the public.
But she has no interest in calming down.
We see this escalate tremendously. She could do anything at this point.
Get the out of my way!
And then the tension boils over.
She demands that he move the scooter. He refuses.
All of a sudden, she just pushes him over.
Now, clearly, Bob is bigger than her. He's on a scooter that clearly must weigh a couple 100 pounds. And she just shoves that thing over essentially like it's a little tricycle.
She appears to have this rageful, superhuman strength.
She then climbs back in her vehicle and then starts to back up. Now, it's clear that he has some type of physical limitations that require him to use this scooter. She actually strikes the scooter, kind of pushing it to the side. We see pieces fall off of it. We hear the man screaming out.
I didn't think it was gonna get as bad as it did.
Obviously, something serious is about to happen. Is she gonna run him over?
This is out of control. But somehow, Bob manages to get out of the way just in time to avoid catastrophe.
She backs up into the scooter, and it looks as if she's gonna just like run over Bob as well. She brakes the scooter with her car, and you hear him yelling. He's screaming, but she doesn't stop.
I didn't think it was gonna go that far. It was insane to watch.
She is dangerous. She's willing to run over this guy and to break anything and anyone in her path.
He picks up his scooter. He was yelling at her. His scooter still worked. He took off down the street, who knows where.
Laura takes off too, and Sarah and her neighbors race downstairs.
All of us came outside and we all called the cops.
No one is sure where Laura has gone, but when Sarah shows the police her videos, they know they have to find her.
It's clear that she poses a menace, and she needs to be stopped at this point.
I didn't think I was ever gonna have to show them to police. It was like, they need to see that this is happening.
And it doesn't take police long to locate Laura.
They find her down the road, and she's at a liquor store. They determine that she's under the influence, and that kind of pretty much explains her erratic behavior.
She was drunk. So that was what she officially got arrested for.
Laura is charged with driving under the influence. But Bob refuses to press any additional charges.
He was just kind of like, this is just a thing that happened. I don't want to do anything about this. Just let it go.
And that makes Sarah and her neighbors worry that they will never get rid of the neighbors from hell, especially when the building says they won't evict them.
We were all just kind of really worried and then also pretty frustrated that we still had to deal with this.
Sarah is used to seeing fighting, yelling, throwing things. She's not used to seeing near murder. She almost killed him. And for Sarah, that's where the line was crossed.
We didn't want it to keep escalating and something else bad to happen. It was like, I don't want to live like this anymore.
Essentially, at this point, the neighbors have had enough.
Frustrated, Sarah decides to post her videos on social media, and the story goes viral in no time.
Caught on camera and going viral, a violent encounter in Huntington Beach.
It kind of just took off and blew up into this thing.
You can see a woman pushing, then almost running over a man in a motorized scooter.
The violence, which erupted Sunday afternoon in an apartment complex in Huntington Beach,
Just craziness.
was captured on camera from her upstairs window.
For a little while after the story goes public, the neighbors do get some much-needed tranquility.
Laura ended up going to jail for about 2 months. So it was pretty quiet for 2 months, except for Bob blaming everything on me. He said that it was my fault she got arrested.
But then, Sarah and her neighbors manage to convince Bob that all they really want is to help him.
I were kind of like, look, Bob, like, we don't have any issues with you. Like, you went through some hell. You're living alone. So if you need help with anything, just give us a call. We'll come down and help you. So he was really nice after that.
Surprisingly, Sarah and Bob actually become friends. And when Laura is released from prison, they all agree to keep the peace.
Sometimes valuable friendships can develop from these traumatic events.
They had to all get together and work it out to resolve this conflict on their own.
And Sarah has learned an important lesson.
If you see something, if a neighbor that needs help, just try to reach out and get them help as best as you can, especially if it's causing an issue for your sanity. A happy ending was definitely needed.